Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to Finance with Avern. In this video, I'm exploring the American Express High Yield Savings Account, which is a top contender in the world of savings options. If you're looking to maximize your savings potential, this account could be a great fit. In this video, I'm going over the main key features, the APY and interest rate, deposits and withdrawals, fees and limits, mobile app reviews, how to open the account and the requirements, and some information about American Express itself. Now, I have the video separated and organized into chapters so you could jump to whichever section interests you the most or go back and forth or however you want to view the video. It's all up to you. It's organized down below in chapters. So first here, let's start off with the key features for the American Express High Yield Savings Account. These are the main attributes, the main marketing highlights of this account that really bring people in. And I mean, this alone, some of these key features alone are reason enough to have a high yield savings account with American Express. I ran a little survey on the community section of my channel and asked you all, which savings account would you like for me to do an in-depth overview review video of next? And I listed a few options, and American Express was the winner of that poll, the one that was chosen the most out of the other options. So that's why I'm doing a video on it. I'll likely eventually do an in-depth review and overview video of savings accounts offered by some of those other options on that poll, like Discover, Capital One, and so forth. But I want to do the American Express one first because that's the one that won the poll. And this account actually was in my honorable mentions back in the video I did 2 years ago on the top 5 best high interest savings accounts available in 2022. And here it is right here, the pros and cons section of the American Express high yield savings account. And you see it right here, some of the pros and cons, and some of those still, I believe, well, no, there's a couple things that have changed. One thing that's definitely changed from the cons that is now a pro is that they do offer mobile check deposits. So that is something that's changed. Yeah, so back in August 2022, around that time right there, APY on this account for American Express was 1.25%. So that's definitely changed. Spoiler alert, it is 4.25% now. Speaking of some things that have changed, let's get into the key features of this high yield savings account with American Express, because this is what brings people in, some of the main marketing highlights of this account. And these key features alone are some of the main reasons why people would have a high yield savings account with American Express. So you see here, first up, the APY, 4.25%. That's definitely on the higher end for savings accounts. And in the world of online savings accounts, it's in that range. Online high yield savings accounts are in a range between, I would say, about 4 to 5.50% APY or so, around that amount. And I do a video every other month on the top 10 savings accounts ranked by APY. And if you want to view those videos, I got a link to the playlist down in the description of this video. One of the other key highlights of this savings account is that it is FDIC insured. Very important. I'm not skipping around a little bit. I'll go to the other highlights right here, but I definitely want to highlight that because that's one of the main aspects of a high yield savings account. I would say that's a requirement for me, for sure. Like, it should be, I won't say what should be a requirement for you or things like that, but FDIC insurance is very important. Sole ownership of this account will be protected up to $250,000 of your deposit in this account. So if something were to happen with American Express, which, I mean, very unlikely, I would say, but hey, anything's possible. American Express, definitely one of the most well-known, well-capitalized financial institutions out there. But hey, just so you know, it is FDIC insured. There's that just in case in the back pocket or in the vault or wherever you want to put it. It is FDIC insured, Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, which is an independent agency created by Congress to instill, safety, security, confidence in the financial sector, because banks that are a member FDIC are covered by the FDIC insurance. So if something happened to their account, you would get covered. Basically, your deposits in the account would be returned to you if something happened to the bank. And American Express has this section on their website where it's kind of broken down, where they state you can get up to $1 million with FDIC insurance with American Express as a married couple if you spread your deposits across multiple American Express savings accounts. So that is an option. You could have a single account in your name, a single account in your partner's name, and then a joint account with both of your names owned by both of you. And boom, right, it is right there. $250,000 for each single account, and up to $500,000 for the joint account. So that's $1 million in FDIC insurance. So one way you could do that, there are financial institutions that offer that $1 million FDIC insurance or more. I've seen up to like $5 million. And they do that by spreading your deposits around to different partner banks to increase that $250,000. So I'd have seen FDIC insurance higher than that, but I do like that American Express kind of showed an example of how you can get even higher than $250,000 if you land in that realm of being a married couple. So yeah, that is a possibility, but just for single accounts, $250,000 FDIC insurance right here. That is the coverage limit, and that is great. So let's get over to some more key features of this account. There's no minimum balance required to open this account. You don't have to start it with anything. You just open the account as is, and then you can start adding money to it. They won't require you upfront to put $50, $1,000, anything like that. no minimum balance, and there's no monthly fees associated with this account. So no kind of maintenance fees, no stipulations, anything like that. Because sometimes you have accounts and they're like, yeah, no monthly maintenance fees if you meet these requirements, or if you do these amount of transactions in a statement period, so forth, things like that. With the American Express High Yield Savings Account, no monthly maintenance fees. Also, another highlight with this account that I don't really see that often is that they have 24/7 customer service. So that is definitely a highlight. There are some other banks out there that do have that, but a lot of the times for customer service, we have those bank hours with financial institutions, and not just a regular brick and mortar account. I've seen like online focused financial institutions and banks that have that 8 to 5, 8 to 6, or so forth customer service hours. But with American Express, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week customer service. And of course, with this being an online focused account, they state that there's easy access to your money around the clock. As long as you have internet connection, some kind of data connection or something, you're going to be able to view your account and set up transactions, different things within your account with your mobile phone or online with your laptop or computer. So you have access to your account throughout the day. You wake up in the morning, you want to check your balance, boom. Before you go to bed at night, if you want to, if it's part of your nighttime routine to check your balance, get you cozy for the bed, you can do that. Before dinner, after dinner, whatever you want to do. You can check your account balance, do things within your account around the clock throughout the day. And American Express does have a mobile app that's available on the Google Play and Apple app stores. And they have kind of a highlight here for American Express themselves. They state that this account is strengthened by the service and reliability of American Express. They do have that name value, that brand value that they bring to the table. There's a good percent chance that like 90-something% of you all viewing this video have heard of American Express. You're familiar with American Express. You may even have an American Express credit card in your wallet. It's a very well-known bank. Like American Express is up there with like Bank of America, Citigroup, Wells Fargo, Discover, Visa, MasterCard, those kind of financial institutions. Very well known. And of course, with this being an online savings account, simple way to transfer money. Very easy. You could transfer money online. You can set up auto deposits. You can have direct deposits going into this account. You can get, paid into this account basically. So if you want to like automatically set up some of your check from your employer or like a check from a government benefits provider, you can have a percentage of that, a certain amount of that, however you can set that up with your employer or government benefits. You can have some of that or all of that go into your American Express savings account via direct deposit. We'll get more into detail about transfers and moving money around, deposits, withdrawals, all that in that section of the video. But yeah, you could definitely do online, external, and internal transfers with this savings account. Interest is compounded daily and deposited monthly. I'll talk more about that in the APY and interest rate section. And they do have digital monthly statements, but they state that they can provide you with mail paper copy statements if you prefer that. All right. And of course, their website is filled with a lot of more information, frequently asked questions and articles and things like that. But in this video, I'm going to break down and get in depth for each section. As mentioned at the beginning of the video, those are the key features of the high yield savings account with American Express. Now let's get into more detail about the APY, annual percentage yield, and interest rate for the American Express high yield savings account. Now with the compounding of that interest, it is compounded daily. And with the difference between compounding daily and monthly is more noticeable with larger amounts of money and for longer periods of time. So if you don't have much money in a savings account, you're not going to notice much of a difference. And if it's not going to be in there long compounding, you're not going to notice much of a difference. You'll start noticing that difference more and more with the larger amounts of money in the savings account and as it goes on longer sitting in that savings account. But preference for me and a lot of people I know of is for that interest to be compounded daily. And that is the situation with this savings account. And as far as when is that interest going to be credited, when are you going to see that in your account? And it's going to be credited to your account on your monthly statement cycle date. So that can land, like towards the middle of the month, towards the end of the month, whatever it is, it's going to be that same date every month. Whatever your monthly statement cycle date is, it's going to be that monthly basically. So it kind of works it a little bit different. Sometimes you'll just see accounts that'll say, interest is credited to your account monthly. American Express got a little bit more specific and just stated on your monthly statement cycle date. Now, closing your account. If you were to close your account, the interest will continue to accrue up until the day that you close your account. And they use the daily balance computation method. So American Express uses the daily balance method to calculate the interest on your account. This method applies a daily periodic rate to the current balance in the account on each day. So they use the daily balance method to calculate the interest, and they also compound the interest daily. And when does that interest start on the money in your account? The interest begins to accrue on a deposit on the business day it is posted. So depending on, they have a cutoff times for what's considered, being posted to the account on that day or the next day and so forth. And I'll get to that in more detail in the deposits and withdrawals section of the video. But depending on when that deposit is in your account, as far as the time of the day, it's going to depend on whether the interest starts that day or the next day. Or also, for instance, if the cutoff time, if the deposit is met on a day that's not a business day, then they generally are going to consider the deposit received on the next business day. So when in regards to interest, it's going to be landing on that business day associated with the deposit. And also something to keep in mind, if you request a withdrawal or transfer from your account, the funds will be debited when they process the withdrawal or transfer, and interest will not accrue or be credited to your account for that processing day on the amount of the requested withdrawal or transfer, regardless of the actual date of transfer. However, in the circumstance that they receive and credit the deposit on a non-business day, the interest will begin accruing on that day. And like pretty much all savings accounts, when it comes to the APY for this account is variable as well. So it is subject to change at any moment. As I showed you and talked about earlier in the video, when I talked about this account back in 2022 in my top 5 best high interest savings accounts in the honorable mention section, this account was at 1.25% APY. But at that time, that was a high yield. That was considered a high yield. Yeah, only a couple years ago. But now at 4.25%, still considered a high yield, of course. As you see, it has changed. It has gone along with the trend of APYs increasing in the past couple of years, with the federal funds rate increasing in the past couple of years. So this account is variable when it comes to the APY, and I believe they have recently lowered it. I think it was like 4.35% not that long ago. So yeah, the APY is variable, it's subject to change. And what's going on in the news now with the Fed stating that they're going to be cutting rates possibly in September, this month right here in 2024, you are going to start seeing more APYs in the savings realm come down. And I've talked about that in my ranking videos, and I show you that in my ranking videos. There are definitely accounts that have started lowering their APYs like months ago. So if you've been following me along on the channel and checking out my videos, then you're already aware of that. I even made a video getting into detail about the federal funds rate effect on savings and certificate of deposit account rates and APY. So if you want to know more about the correlation of that and the history of that, I'll leave a link to that video down in the description if you want to check that out. So that's some information on the compounding and crediting of the APY and interest rate. Let's get into some specific examples of that so you can see how much interest you would earn on a certain amount of money. So they have a calculator on their website. I'm going to use this for a couple of calculations, and I'm going to show you another calculator I like to use as well. So right here, we got that golden amount, that $10,000 amount of savings. You've seen that amount probably around on the internet. You might heard people like, save $10,000 and you're golden. You can do this now and do that now. It's a good kind of number I feel like to put on a savings account. Now, having a savings account depends on you. That's what I call it, personal finance. So what's a good savings account number for you could be different. $5,000 could be fine for you. $20,000 may be fine for you. $10,000 may be fine for you, so forth, so forth. They generally, the rule of thumb kind of with savings accounts is that people say you should have like 3 to 6 months of living expenses basically in your savings account, like as an emergency fund. That's if you're using your savings account as an emergency fund. And most people do, a lot of people do that because they can get a yield, some interest on their savings, but also it's accessible. They can get to their savings quickly. They can transfer it out, to different accounts if they need to. So yeah, we're going to use a couple of different amounts right here. First up here, $10,000 in this account at 4.25% APY. If that APY stayed the same for a year, your total interest earned is going to be like $425. Yeah, I'm going to show you the monthly breakdown of it on the other calculator I like to use, but you'll get that broken down and paid throughout the year each month. And a total of those 12 months is going to be like $425. So you see that here, you see the graph over time, and that's if you did not add any other, money to this account monthly. Now, once you start adding more money to the account monthly, if you kept adding, we'll say $100 to this account monthly, well, you're going to get more interest than that $425. Total interest earned on $10,000 plus a deposit of $100 a month is going to equal about $448 total of interest for a year at that 4.25% APY. And they even have it on this calculator where you can break it down for weekly deposits. So if you put in, we'll keep it the $100 amount, $100 deposits weekly. So that's going to be, roughly $400 or so a month, depending on weekly amounts and everything. Well, if you did that, $10,000 in this account with a weekly deposit of $100 at 4.25% APY, well, your total interest earned is going to be about $535. So you see that's still the same initial deposit amount of $10,000, but you're not only earning interest on that amount, you're earning interest on all that amount of money that you're depositing into the account. In this case, $100 a week. Now, let's turn this back to zero for the deposits. Let's just put a different amount in here. Let's put $25,000. So if you had $25,000 in this high yield savings account with American Express at 4.25% APY for a year, stating that APY stayed the same, which is not a fixed APY, just a calculation example. It is variable, so it could change. It could go higher, it could go lower. But total interest earned on that amount with that 4.25% APY for a year is going to be about $1,063. So you see, more money, more interest. Let's do one more calculation on this calculator, and then we're going to go over to another website I like to use. Let's say you got $2,000 in this account. $2,000 in this account for a year at 4.25% APY, it's going to earn you about $85 in interest. So, lower amount of interest, but it's a lower amount of money, but it's still better than getting 0.01% APY or 0.5% APY or something measly like that. That 4.25% APY is still going to be noticeable. Let me show you another calculator that breaks it down monthly. Here at the calculator site, the APY calculator got $10,000 in this high yield savings account with American Express at 4.25% APY with the interest compounding daily. You're still going to get that same amount as I showed you on the other calculator on the American Express website, $425 total interest earned. But here we see a breakdown of the interest earned monthly. And this is where the magic of compounding can be seen. First month of interest, $34.74, because that's the interest you're earning on that $10,000. See how the second month is a little higher? The second month, you're not earning the interest of $34.74 again. You're earning the interest of $34.87. You're not only earning interest on that $10,000 initial deposit in this situation, in this example, you're earning 4.25% on $10,034.74. That amount in your account plus the previous month interest that was credited to your account. So you're earning interest on interest. So that is compounding. You see it go up each month, $34.99, $35.23, and so forth. And by the end of that 12 months, and that's if the APY stayed the same at 4.25%, $36.10 on that 12th month. And even if the APY changes, goes up, goes down, the interest is still going to be compounding. It's still going to be, if the APY goes up, of course, it's going to be increasing. If the APY goes down, yeah, you're going to notice, of course, the interest be less per month, but you're still going to be earning interest on the previous amount of interest that you've earned if you let it sit on your account. And this is why for savings account, it's good for money just to sit there. If you don't have to use it, if you don't have to pull anything out, just let the money sit there, let the interest compound is what I like to see, is what I like to do. Now, if you need to use the money, of course, you need to use the money. It's an emergency fund. If it's an emergency fund, it's an emergency fund, and that's, what it calls for. But just want to show you a monthly breakdown of interest compounding. Like I was telling you on the other calculator, you see that $425 interest amount, and you see that for a year, but you can't really necessarily divide that by 12, and that'll be your interest for the month. You see right here the breakdown of how much interest pretty much you would get each month in that account if you let the previous month of interest just sit there. Now, let's do a couple other calculations here. Let's do that $50,000 amount at 4.25% APY for a year. Total interest earned on that going to be about $2,125. You see the amount of interest you're getting paid that first month, $173.72. And then it's compounding, increasing. By the 12th month, the amount of interest you got, $180.48. Now let's go up one more calculation. $250,000 in this account at 4.25% APY for a year. Total interest earned is going to be about $10,625. First month of interest hitting that account going to be about $868.62. By the end of that 12 months, interest compounding increasing. On the 12th month, that amount of interest earned is going to be like $902.40. Compound interest is amazing. Look at that. And that's just passive income going into your account. You're not even having to work for that. You got $250,000 sitting in that account, and look how it's working for you. All right, so that is the APY and interest rate section of the video. Now let's get into deposits and withdrawals. So deposits and withdrawals, very important attribute of your bank account. How do you get money into your account, and how do you get money out of your account? So there's various ways to do this with the American Express high yield savings account. So main way, of course, is going to be with electronic transfers. Logging into your account, making a transfer to either deposit or withdraw money. This goes for both ways. You can do that via external transfers. You can move money to another external bank. If you got another bank account with CIT Bank, SoFi, Ally, Bank of America, JP Morgan Chase, Wells Fargo, wherever you got another bank account at, you can make a transfer from this account with American Express to that account, or a transfer from that other bank account to this account. So that is one of the main ways to deposit and withdraw money from this account. And there's no fee associated with that. Easy way to make a transfer to this account from this account, electronic transfer. Also, you can use the mobile app to make a mobile check deposit. With this American Express, there are no physical locations, so there's nowhere for you to actually go to deposit a check. And that can be seen as a con for some people. There's no physical locations. That is going to be the case with a lot of online focused bank accounts in financial institutions. And in this case, this is an online focused account with American Express. No physical locations, but if you have a physical check, you can deposit that into your account with mobile check deposit. Very simple, seamless process. I've used it with other banks and financial institutions. Simply taking a picture of the front of the check and the back of the check. Often they'll have you write something on the back of the check, like for mobile deposit only or for mobile deposit at this bank only, something like that. They'll tell you that within the app. Taking a picture of the front of the check, back of the check, entering some information, and boom, you have that deposit into your account in the works. Also, you can set up direct deposit through your employer or for your federal payments using your account and routing number for this high yield savings account with American Express. So you can get your money deposited into this account however often you get paid, weekly, monthly, bi-weekly, whatever it is. And for most employers, I know for mine that I've used before, I can put a certain amount into different accounts. So I have certain amounts going to different accounts. This amount going to this account, this amount going to that account, the remaining amount going to this account. If I had this account, I could do that with this account as well, with the account number and the routing number for it. Also, with the paper check, you can send or receive a check via mail. So you have to call them at that number right there, 1-800-446-6307, to request a check for withdrawal. So if you want to make a withdrawal from your account via a physical check, you can call them to do that. Now, if you want to deposit a physical check, you can send it in if you want. If you don't want to do the mobile check deposit, you can send it in. If you want to make a deposit into this account with a check from another bank account you have, you can do that. You can make it there, check out. They state to make the check out to American Express National Bank and include your savings account number on the memo line. And they have the address right there where you would mail the check to. And there are some checks that are not eligible for deposit. So here's a list of them right here. Checks that are more than 6 months old are not eligible. Any kind of check that seems like it's kind of been altered or looks suspicious, fraudulent, something like that, of course. Unendorsed or improperly endorsed checks, international checks, U.S. savings bonds, money orders, MoneyGram, counter or starter checks, checks that have already been deposited or submitted for deposit, checks that have already been converted to an image or a copy, or remotely created checks. So yeah, there are some checks that do not fit into the criteria of being eligible. There they are right there. And of course, if you have a checking account with American Express, you can do an internal transfer between accounts. So you can transfer from your checking account with American Express to your savings account and vice versa. And also wire transfers incoming into this account, and you can make outgoing wire transfers from this account. And the thing with the outgoing wire transfers with this, it has to be initiated by phone with this high yield savings account with American Express. And I'll show you that in the fine print here. And there it is right here. So wire transfers with their checking account, you can initiate that through the online banking portal. However, for the high yield savings account, you have to initiate the outgoing wire transfers through their telephone service. So you have to request that service of an outgoing wire transfer from your high yield savings account via their telephone service. So you have to call them up to initiate and try to get that going. And those are the ways to deposit and withdraw money. So you may be wondering now, how long does it take? What's the timeline for this? What's the time frame for this? Let's get into that here. Okay, so on the day that you initiate your transaction, the amount will be reflected in your current balance and will begin or stop to earn interest immediately. So depending on whether or not it's coming into this account or out of this account, depends on whether the interest is going to stop. If it's leaving this account, interest is going to stop accruing on that amount immediately. If it's coming into this account, then on the business day, if it's in this account, it's going to start earning interest on that immediately. And so funds transferred into your savings account are going to be available for withdrawal on the 5th business day after the deposit is initiated. And they state that external banks are required to reflect funds transferred to them within 2 business days, but most will do it within 1 business day. So you may see things show up a little bit quicker on certain ends, with transferring money. I've noticed that with some of my accounts. Like I'll transfer money from an account to another external bank account, and I'll see the money hit that external bank account before it's like fully taken out of the account I'm transferring it from. It'll like show like pending or something, like it won't be reflected in the balance, but it'll still kind of show on the account like not completed, like pending, but it'll show up on the other account like this is already there. So it's one of those things that can happen with this account basically. So things could be a little bit quicker than what you think they're going to be. So if you're eligible for expedited transfers, then the bank could reflect your transfer as soon as the same day. If they received a deposit or request after the cutoff time, they're going to generally consider the deposit or request received on the next business day. So we're looking at right here the HYSA, the high yield savings account. So checks deposited by mail, cutoff time, it's all in Eastern time. If it's received by that time, then it's going to be processed on that business day and marked as received, processed on that day. If it's after that cutoff time, then it's going to be the next business day. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that does not include actually linking an external bank transfer. That can take a little time right there. A lot of the times when you link an external bank, it's going to take like a couple days for that to go through. And with linking an external bank account with your American Express savings account, very easy, seamless process. There's a chance you've likely done something like this before if you've linked an external bank account with another bank account you have. So yeah, you're just going to enter in some details online through the mobile app, basically information about your other bank account. What account type is it? The routing number, the account number, and then the micro deposits. If you've done this before, you'd likely know about this part. They're going to deposit 2 small amounts under $1 into that other bank account, and then you have to verify those amounts that were deposited into that account. Just kind of a check to make sure you can log in and that you have access to that account. So very standard, simple process for linking an external bank account. And they have it laid out right there on the website. So yeah, very seamless, easy process right there. Now, when it comes to wire transfers, funds from incoming wire transfers to your account would generally be available for withdrawal on the business day that they receive the incoming wire transfer. So when it comes to checks mailed to them, they state that funds from checks mailed to us for deposit into your account will generally be available for withdrawal no later than the 5th business day after they receive the deposit. However, for new accounts less than 90 days old, funds from the mobile check deposit will generally be available for withdrawal on the 11th business day after they receive the mobile check deposit. And they state that they will not consider an account to be new for this purpose if either account holder of the account has had within 90 days before the account is funded another funded account in good standing with us for at least 90 days. So if you have another account with them, this account wouldn't necessarily be considered new within if it was less than 90 days old and so forth. Don't want to end out this section right here without talking about cash a little bit. This is a bank account, so you may be wondering about cash. You got some cash in your hand. Can you deposit that cash into this high yield savings account with American Express? Unfortunately, no, you cannot. This account does not come with any kind of debit card or ATM card, anything like that. And you cannot mail the cash in. As you see right here, they state that they do not accept cash deposits through the mail or at any ATM. So cash, you would have to figure out another way to get it into this account. You could deposit it into another external bank account you have and then transfer it to this account or something like that. This account does not have an ATM card or debit card or anything associated with it. And in that regard, also cash withdrawals are not available with this account. And if you're looking for a high yield savings account that does have a debit card, ATM card associated with it, there's a few out there. There's not a lot. It's a kind of a normalized thing for savings accounts to not come with any kind of ATM card or debit card. However, there are some that do, and I actually have a video on it of the top high yield savings accounts with ATM cards. I'll leave a link for that down in the description if you're somebody that just wants to have that. So yeah, that's the deposits and withdrawals section. Now let's get to the fees and limits section. Now, when it comes to fees and limits for this American Express high yield savings account, there's no monthly maintenance fees for this account. So there's no kind of stipulations you have to do, as I told you about in the key features section. And no fees when it comes to mobile check deposits, no fees when it comes to transferring money to this account from an external bank account or withdrawing from this account through an external bank account to another bank account, outside of American Express or internally with American Express. No fees associated with any of those electronic funds transfers. Now, there's a couple of other little things I want to highlight with the fine print when it comes to limits and fees. So let's get into that, though. So transactions and limitations. Their approach to transaction limitations is a little discreet. It's a little cloudy somewhat because they don't have like hard numbers like on this is the amount you can transfer each day or your external amount that you can, or the amount that you can withdraw each week or each month, or, like how some accounts break it down on a table or something like that. Like this is your withdrawal limit. This is your transfer limit per day or per month or what. American Express does not do this with this account. So in general, there are no limits on how many times you can withdraw or deposit into your savings account with American Express. There are currently no limits on the number of EFT, electronic funds transfers, you may make in or out of your high yield savings account. But they do kind of have this stated also in their fine print where they may change something. So they're a little discreet about this. They state that we may, at our discretion, determine to impose a limit on the number of transactions you may conduct into or out of your account, subject to appropriate prior notice to you as required by applicable law before the effectiveness of any changes that will reduce the number of permitted transfers. Any such limits, if made effective, would apply to telephone and online transfers, all the ways you can transfer and deposit money into the account, like I told you about in that section, whether to another account you have with us or a linked external account or any third party. So that's just something that lot of banks and financial institutions, they just kind of have in their fine print. So like overall, like there may be no limits on transactions, but they have that clause there where it's like, yeah, they can impose a limit if they want to. Now, internal transfer limits, which are, internal transfers from within American Express. So internal transfers between your high yield savings account with American Express to your rewards checking account are subject to the following limits: $25,000 per transaction, $25,000 per day, $50,000 for transactions made within a rolling 5-day period. So they have kind of some transfer limits on internal transfers, between like their checking account and your savings account with American Express if you have both of those accounts. So now for external transfers, they don't mention any kind of limit with those. So they don't mention any kind of limits with those. However, when you actually place it on your account, like within the mobile app or online, they may have a limit on it then, depending on your account. So some banks and financial institutions do this. They impose different limits on different accounts, depending on like your account balance, how long you've had your account open, and things like that. But as of like on this deposit agreement currently, they have limits on internal transfers, but they don't have limits on external transfers. However, that's something that could be applied at their discretion. Now, mobile check deposit limits, that is something they have, and they stated those are outlined in a separate agreement. So we're going to go over to that and show you that. So mobile check deposit limits, they do have a limit on mobile check deposits. So the limits may be imposed on the value of individual mobile check deposits, the number of mobile check deposits that can be made per time period, or the total value of mobile check deposits per time period. So here it is right here for the high yield savings account. The mobile check deposit limits is $25,000 per check, $50,000 per day, and $200,000 per rolling 30-day period. So, you have that $25,000 per check or $50,000 per day. So you can do that for a couple of days, but once you hit that $200,000 within 30 days, that's a cutoff. And they state that those limits can be found in the American Express app at the time of entering a deposit amount, so you'll be able to see that. Now, wire transfer limits. Both incoming wire transfers and outgoing wire transfers will only be processed and accepted for amounts of $500 and greater. So they kind of have a reverse limit on this. They don't have a max limit of like the most we can do for ingoing and outgoing wire transfers, $200,000 or something like that. They have it stated where the wire transfer has to be at least $500 or more for them to accept it. So that's for incoming and outgoing wire transfers. Now, when it comes to outgoing wire transfers, they do state that they will impose a fee for outgoing wire transfers from a rewards checking account with American Express. However, they don't state anything about a fee for outgoing wire transfers with their high yield savings account. Now, limitation with this account as far as their balance, they have a current maximum total balance of $5 million. So once you hit that amount, you cannot deposit any more into this account. If interest accrues on your account and makes it exceed $5 million, you'll continue to receive interest and your account balance can grow to exceed $5 million, but only because of interest that's being accrued and credited to your account. So you will not be able to deposit any incremental funds into the account, and you can continue to withdraw funds as normal. So yeah, when it comes to depositing money into this account, once you hit $5 million, that's it. However, your account can exceed that $5 million due to the interest that you're getting credited to your account. And now that we've gone over that section of the video, let's get into some mobile app reviews for the American Express mobile app. And now I'm in the section for reviews about the American Express mobile app. The app is going to be your go-to for managing your money at any time that you have, a data connection or Wi-Fi. And the app is designed to integrate all of your American Express accounts. So if you have other accounts with American Express, then you will also be able to access those as well with, your savings account with American Express. And we'll look at some specific reviews. But overall, as I've been browsing through the reviews on the Google Play and Apple App Store, many users are liking the app for the simplicity of it and the clean design. They find it easy to navigate, and they like the ability to quickly view their savings balances and recent transactions. One thing that stands out that I've noticed on reviews is that people have notated that it's easy to set up automatic transfers between your checking and savings accounts, which is convenient for anybody trying to grow their savings, keeping those transactions going just pretty steady and everything. But the app is not perfect. There were some negative reviews overall, and people were pointing out that the app could be improved because it lacks functionality in some aspects. There's not a lot of tools or features to actually like track your savings goals or set up, savings features and things like that. So that's one thing with the American Express savings account that you may find lackluster. And they don't have a strong suite of like savings tools or things to help you with your savings goals like some other financial institutions have with their savings accounts. And that's not a thing that's standard across all high yield savings accounts. Some accounts have those tools, some accounts don't. American Express is one of them that does not have those kind of tools built into the savings account with the app and everything as of now. That could change. And definitely in the future, I've seen that happen before with other accounts. They don't have that many features or anything, and then they add them. But some accounts won't add that. They may just kind of keep it to the point with transfers and, viewing your balance and, things like that. Now let's get into some specific reviews right here on the Google Play App Store right here for the American Express app. It's got 3.9 stars out of 5 right now currently with 41,500 reviews, around that amount. And now you have to keep in mind with these reviews is that this isn't just for the savings account with the American Express app. This is for the American Express app in general overall. So, and also one thing to keep in mind is the dates for some of these reviews. Right now you see these first reviews right here in September 2024. Right here, this review says, surely the worst banking app experience in modern times. Nothing is intuitive. The most basic functions require such unnecessary complex navigations and endless authentications. So this is one that's saying like it's not that user friendly actually. So they have issues with the app right here. Next review right here, the app is a great convenience, design is clean, opens quickly, all of that. 3 stars right here. Oh, very slow to respond. Okay, I was going to say what happened when they make it 3 stars instead of 5 or 4. So they had some issues with something not responding within the app, but they say clean design overall. And this one has an updated review right here, 3 stars out of 5. Technology is not good, app is mediocre, UI much better. With that, good customer service, outstanding. And had UI issues, they fixed it. External transfer. Okay, so yeah, 3 out of 5 stars right there with that one. Let's look at some other reviews here on the Google Play App Store. Most recent, 1 star right there. Can't turn off 2-step verification in app or online. 3 stars right here. You actually signed in. Everything works fine. Information displays easy enough. UI is mostly easy to navigate. 1 star over here. New to American Express from Capital One. Extreme downgrade. They're saying app can't accomplish a simple task like sending a push notification when a purchase is made. Okay, so that's what must be with their checking account there or something. 2 stars there, 2 stars there, 1 star there. Pretty rough right here on the Google Play App Store. I guess you see that's why the overall review is under 4 stars right there with the average. A lot of 3-star and 1-star reviews are here with that. There's a 4-star right there. Never had an issue with the app, like the interface and aesthetic. Let's see newest reviews. Okay, newest reviews, 5-star, love the app, easy to manage. 5-star, easy, intuitive, fast, app is perfect. It's right here, 1-star, horrible customer service, they're saying. So people have different experiences because, there was another review that said great customer service. So you kind of have to keep that in mind. That's going to be with any pretty much, company in general. People are going to have good experiences, some people are going to have bad experiences. When you start seeing a trend of more good than bad or more bad than good, then you kind of have a good idea of what direction things may go for you as well. More likely, the chances of that. So, okay, so that's the Google Play App Store. Let's go over to the Apple App Store here. See the reviews, 4.9 stars out of 5 with around 3.7 million ratings. So way more reviews and ratings on the Apple App Store and better overall with the average. Right here, as you see, mostly 5-star and some 4 stars right here. Let's pull up what they have on here. Some of these are kind of older, so we're not going to really go over those. The 2019, the 2020. So let's see, 2024, user-friendly. The American Express app is without a doubt my favorite financial app. 5-star, the best credit cards and best app. And 1-star right here, horrible customer service. 5-star for once, an app that isn't cluttered. All right, so yeah, as you see, better reviews overall kind of on the Apple App Store than the Google Play App Store. Some people may even think maybe it's an Apple Android thing. I'm not going to say that because, like I said, I haven't had any personal experience with this specific app on either phone. So, but that's just something I've noticed from the reviews. Better reviews on the Apple App Store than the Google Play App Store. But overall, this is one of those accounts on one of those apps that has a lot going on with it because there's multiple accounts you can have with American Express. But it's just something to keep in mind when you're opening up an account with an financial institution that has an online focus with the account. You definitely want to like the mobile app that you're using for that account with that company because that's going to be a way that you're going to access the account on the go and often and set up things throughout the account is with the mobile app. So yeah, this is the mobile app section right here. Now let's get into what the requirements are to actually open up the American Express high yield savings account. In this section, I want to tell you about what the requirements are to actually open up a high yield savings account with American Express and the process of it. It's an online focused account, so it's going to be a very online focused way of opening the account. And it's very seamless, very easy from what I've seen, very similar to opening up a high yield savings account with other banks and financial institutions. Right here you see on the login and create your account page, you have some requirements right here that you and any other person you add as a joint owner must be 18 years or older, be a U.S. citizen, United States citizen, or a resident alien with a valid social security number or individual taxpayer identification number with a home address in the United States. And also this account is for personal use only. So it's only for personal use. And those are the main requirements right there for opening up the high yield savings account with American Express. And we're going to go to the create your account page so you can kind of see some of the things they're going to ask for right here on the main page. So of course your first name, middle name, last name, date of birth, that social security number or individual taxpayer identification number, phone number right there, mobile or work, home, other things like that, email address. So those are going to be the main things right there to actually opening up your account. And then it's going to go forth and on with, your tax withholding, the terms and conditions, the fine print of, do you agree to this and that and everything, check that, and adding money. So you can start setting up the account and everything. So, and also one thing to keep in mind, there's no minimum initial deposit requirement to open the account. So you don't have to, have some money transferred to the account to have it approved or officially open or anything like that. So yeah, very simple process to open the account online. You're just going to verify your information that you're putting in to make sure you are who you say you are and the information you're putting in is correct and applicable to you. Not going to be any kind of hard pull on your credit or affecting your credit score or anything like that with opening this account. And you can register your online savings account after you receive the confirmation email. You should get that within a few minutes of applying for the account after you open the account online with your personal information. And then after that, you can sign into your account, kind of check it out and everything, set up your account funding. One thing to keep in mind, like I stated in the deposits and withdrawals section, is that when you link an external account to this savings account to be able to transfer money to or from, that process can take up to 2 days to get that all settled and certified. And even though this account does not have a minimum initial deposit amount or requirement or anything like that, they do state that they would like for you to please fund your high yield account within 60 days after receiving approval of application. Otherwise, your account will be closed. So something to keep that in mind. If you open this account, don't forget about it. If you forget about it, it might be closed. So yeah, make a deposit into it within 60 days of your account being approved. And kind of related to that, there's no minimum balance requirement for this account. However, there's kind of a fine print stipulation with that. There is a minimum balance requirement to maintain the account. So they state that accounts that remain with zero balance for 180 days are closed automatically. So yeah, not a minimum initial deposit requirement for this account, but they do want to fund it by a certain time, and they don't want you to have a zero balance on this account for 180 consecutive days. In this account, you can't necessarily open it up for a trust. So American Express Savings does not currently offer a trust or business accounts. So it's something to keep in mind, but you could retitle it to the name of a revocable living trust, and they have information on that in the frequently asked questions page. Not necessarily a way to have the account open in a trust or business account, but you can retitle it to a revocable living trust. Now, beneficiaries, that is something people often want to know about. You can add beneficiaries to this account. You can change or modify beneficiaries online at any time and as often as you would like. You can add, remove, edit, whatever. Log into your savings account online and you can have access to manage your banking beneficiaries. So yes, you can do that with this account. Very easy, simple process to set up, to manage and everything, which is good because there are some bank accounts out there where you have to call them to manage your beneficiaries. And that just seems kind of convoluted. It's like, it's just let me do it, But so yeah, American Express does let you handle that yourself. All right, so yeah, pretty simple, brief, normal kind of process with opening up the high yield savings account with American Express. Now let's get into what is American Express. Who are American Express? Some history of American Express and what they offer besides that high yield savings account. All right, some information on American Express, a very well-known financial institution that's been around for a while. Founded in 1850 as an express mail and freight service by Henry Wells, William Fargo, and John of Butterfield. Now, American Express has grown into much more than what they were then. As you see, they offer various credit cards. This is probably one of the main ways that you know about American Express. Business credit cards, corporate, personal, and gift cards. And with their credit cards and the rewards programs, they're very intertwined with the traveling. So a lot of people use American Express who like to travel because of the rewards and the benefits that they can get with American Express through using their products. And they also have personal and business banking with their high yield savings account and their CD account and checking account for the personal side. And then for the business banking, they have the checking account and the business line of credit. And American Express started offering their savings deposit accounts in late 2008 with their online savings account and the certificate of deposit accounts. And currently, American Express is number 21 on the largest banks in the United States based on total assets. And back to some of their history. So yes, founded in 1850, and in 1891 they introduced the traveler's check, which made a way to have secure international travel money. And in 1966, they launched their first credit card. They're stating their customers were increasingly on the move and needed the security of traveler's checks with the added flexibility of credit. So they introduced their first charge card in the United States and Canada in 1966, which became a symbol of status and was widely adopted. So yeah, you can see on their website how they've grown, became more modern, and started increasing their benefits and rewards program and adding new products and services to their financial portfolio. And now, American Express is recognized globally for its credit and charge cards with a reputation for excellent customer service and reward programs. All right, that is a wrap on this deep dive into the American Express savings account. If you're looking for a straightforward, high yield option to grow your savings, this account might just be the one for you. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions about this account, or if you're already using this account and you have any thoughts or opinions on it that you may find, helpful to other people, or reasons why you like or dislike the account. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button so you never miss out on future tips and educational videos on maximizing your money. Thanks for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Take care.